here through the tunnels. The problem here is that the squeezes are literally the size of a hubcap, right? So you can't drag lifeless people through there, or people who've been sedated through those squeezes. They have to play a role, so they can't completely not.
Good morning.
Never done it before.
What's left of this morning? It's fucking 9:30 almost.
This is probably going to take days long.
Thank you for staying on the story. All right, this morning we have the first national TV interview with a high school student who was detained by ICE his senior year. He and his mother were kept apart in custody until they got out just a
Oh my god. I am just waking up. I just took my medicine. I've been up for a couple hours, but I'm still waking up. I slept in until 7:30 and get up at 5:30 today. That's fine. That's fine. I'm taking it easier nowadays. All that grinding to get myself established and to have a studio and to have a business and to have good income and blah, 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 blah. It's tiring. So now I'm taking it easy. Don't like it, go fuck yourselves. Yeah, I says it's. You can go and fuck yourselves. Slow it down, everybody. I am so fucking tired. I am tired. It's that time of day. Give myself a sugar rush. This shit is horrible for you, by the way.
With the GPS monitor, that launch allows ICE to track. Yeah, I prefer these being but you prefer that over being detained. The watch. Yeah. The administration has repeatedly tightened ICE operations.
I know your ass ain't sleeping.
Slept a lot last night. I slept in a couple days.
Good. Yeah, you sound better than you did the other day when I talked to you.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing?
Good moments, bad moments. So fucking tired last night. I got home and went right to sleep, but then I woke up this morning and the house just feels empty. And, it feels surreal.
Well, it's probably not going to hit you for a minute yet, right? So, and every day it's going to start unpacking new things. So, day at a time, right?
Yeah, just trying to stay busy. I work around this house. I go up to the funeral home yesterday. Flowers, pick out a suit, I wrote the obituary.
ChatGPT that shit, dude.
I did it myself. I wanted to be.
Did anybody go to help you, or is it just you?
No, my sister went to the funeral home, but I did the obituary. I picked out the clothes he was wearing. Got the picture for the obituary. $11,000 something it's gonna cost.
Well, you guys did good. Don't take Joe. Joe spend double. What the hell does he need that for? He's dead.
Right. He was going through the caskets and stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we have wood." And my dad loved everything in his house is oak, everything. And he's like, "Well, these oak caskets are like $6,000 or something." I was like, "Holy shit!" And he's like, "We have like cardboard options, and we have like stainless steel." And like after we got done, it come to like 11,000 something. I said, "Can you go over those cardboard options?"
Jesus, dude, like $10,000 is on the cheapest end you can do, man. Like,
yeah, I didn't know. I've never really looked at it myself. I mean, with a parent.
Dude, I couldn't imagine. Like, I don't have, like, I'm living vicariously through all you motherfuckers because my family's so fucked. So, like, yeah, I'm learning through you guys.
What's weird is they have to have death certificates for everything. Like, me and Emily, like, we got put on the bank account before he passed away, and we got the house transfer payable on death and this, that, and the other. But like certain, like the life insurance and different shit, like to get the titles changed, you need death certificates or whatever.
Yep.
Well, those things are fucking cheap, and you need like so many of them and shit. And I'm like, what about somebody that doesn't have a family or doesn't have shit?
Welcome, exact dude. Yeah.
You gotta pay when you die. Like, like it's fucking. You gotta pay to live. You gotta pay just to live. You gotta pay for the basic necessity: water, clothes, and you gotta pay taxes on all that shit just to exist. You have to. You owe somebody for existing. Like it's fucking insane.
That's because we're not. They teach us 1 + 1 = 2, so that way we could be good slaves for them. They don't teach us that money is a tool, and in order to live, like it used to be, the value you gave to your tribe would be what you got back. Like if you were the only one that knew how to make arrowheads, you lived pretty fucking good. You didn't have money. You lived good because you fucking had a skill that these guys fucking relied on, and they took good care of you because of that. They gave you the good bitches. They gave you the good food. Like it used to be about skill set, and it's not that anymore. It's all about money, and we don't see the trade-off of value of us as people. So when we're raised in the class that we're raised in, we're raised to think of 1 + 1 = 2. You got to get a job. You got to do this. That way, the people that wake up every day and have somebody wash their ass for them, and they can go fucking make decisions on how we live, so that way they can make more money. What they're willing to let us do and have, like, I don't believe we're in some matrix. This is just, dude, look, there's millions of people. There's so many fucking people in this world. There's more money than you will ever imagine. There's more money in this world. Money flows around like fucking careless bitches. Did you hear about the money they just gave fucking Trump for fucking him and his IRS taxes and shit, dude? He's giving money away to fucking whoever he feels like it. That's our fucking money. I fucking pay $40,000 a fucking year in taxes myself. That's not my wife and her $40,000 she pays. That's 80 combined a year that we're giving to people that fucking tell us how. Yeah, I'm not happy. So anyway, money, if you want to go on a vacation, experience things, it's going to take, you have to have, I look at money as a tool. If you want to experience something, you must have dough for something to flow. Like you can't do shit without money. Money is part of value and how we get around and how people say, oh, you're valuable to us. You contribute to mankind and feeding the riches. Here you go. Well, it's money to me, and the way we look at money, you're right. You die, the family has to give energy into putting you in the ground and giving you a good resting place. And like, you don't have to, it depends on your religion, but me, I just tell everybody, put me in a cedar box. That shit's cheap as fuck. Burn that motherfucker down to ashes and fucking let me drift. Do it as cheap as possible. Save that energy so that we can go on a vacation. You know, your dad didn't tell you what kind of funeral he wanted. He wanted you guys to spend an extra 10, 20 grand on funeral costs. Because
no, he wasn't. No, he didn't want nothing extravagant or anything like that. But it's, I mean, how they get you is you have to buy the vault that the casket goes in. And you can buy a vault that's like shitty and will leak and this, that, and the other, and they're talking about like protecting your loved ones and shit, and I'm like, protect them from what?
My loved one's dead. Yeah, what the fuck, protect them? Well,
right. So water won't get in. I'm like, what's it matter? Like nobody's looking at what suit? Oh, his suit got wet.
Dude, when they bury you, they want you, they put you in the ground in a way that, like the rich people, they don't want their body to ever get touched by an earthworm. Me and the wife are saying, put us on the science farm, dig up a fucking, like, put us in the trunk of a car and see how we rot. Like, we don't give a fuck. We're dead.
From dust was which we came, to the dust we shall return.
Well, you don't be reading that shit.
So we're going to be dirt, and years, it's going to be dirt and dust. Like, it doesn't matter.
1,000 years is a fucking millisecond in the. Yeah, it's.
Right, in the whole scheme of things, you're right. But it's just how they said. But I mean, it's just everything. Like, say I lived out in the woods and fucking something I built with sticks and shit, and I got a fishing pole, and I'm starving, and I got a kid that's starving. I can't even go to the nearest watering hole and throw my fishing line in because I need to have a permit. You got to pay just to go catch fish. Like,
America. Welcome to America.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Dude, when we went to Hawaii, and this is what America's done to Hawaii. You know, Hawaii didn't become a state till 1950, right?
Right.
Think about that. That's only 75 years, dude. That's like nothing in the 250 that we've been here as a country. And yeah, all I'm saying is even there, the American way is like a virus that plagues the place, because when we went there 7 years ago, we can go to any waterfall, we can go to anything and do whatever we want. Now when we go there, the locals are pissed because they're making, even the locals, if they go to a waterfall or something, they have to pay to go to the park, and to go, they live there. They're natives, and they gotta fucking pay America to go fucking to a waterfall of theirs. Like, dude, I guess if you're native and you live there, you can get a discount. Like, it doesn't matter. It's fucking garbage.
Right. You know, I get what you're saying, man.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can go to other countries. It's the same thing. Like Iran, they have iPhones, they have laptops, they have classes just like we do, and they only show us what they want us to see. You don't get to see the nice part. Like, yeah, I'm excited to travel the world and experience as much as I can, but I'm not married to America. I love America. I'm proud to be an American for the most part. I don't know. It's just, I don't like the way and it's not just the right, it's left and right. I don't like how polarized everything is.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, it ain't just Republican or Democrats, but
CNN and Fox anchors, they'll go to a banquet together and be all, oh, you going to say that? I'll say this. Oh, that'll really fuck them up. Because all they're doing is playing us like puppets. It's not that obvious and it's not that grotesque, but it's there. It's disgusting. So, yeah. I wish I'd lived my life right. Maybe I'd be in politics and trying to make a change, but...
You'd be corrupt.
I don't know. Dude, listen, I've stolen, I've done drugs, I've done a bunch of shit, but take somebody out of that environment, get them around people that are living, like, dude, I get that I stole, and I get why kids steal today. Like, in America, when you have haves and have-nots, when you're a have-not, you feel like you are owed, you're entitled to something because of the unjust unfairness. It's unfair for us to have to fucking struggle like we do while people are fucking doing like taking advantage of people and fucking people over. I don't know. It's a shitty world we live in. We can only control what we can control. And what I've learned is the more I focus on that, the further I've matured and the better I feel about the life I'm building. So just focus on yourself, man.
Focus on myself and my family, man. I got too much to worry about right here, to worry about Trump's UFC card or ballroom, or I don't care about that shit. People are losing their ever fucking loving minds over anything that happens in politics, and it's just, I ain't got time for that shit. I don't give a fuck.
And I think people are getting. I knew people would. Like, this is why I don't post about the shit and get involved, because like I knew people would get. What's the word I'm looking for? It's exhausted, but it's yeah, it's a level of exhaustion and just they're over it. They're fed up.
Well, people have created a bubble around themselves, and if you don't agree, they surround themselves with people who agree with them all the fucking time, who share the same views, who don't test their patience or their virtue or anything. They build these bubbles, and anybody outside these bubbles that I don't know offends them or says something they don't like, then they just lose their fucking minds. Like they lose their fucking minds. There's no discussion anymore. You can't talk to people. You can't discuss things. You can't convince people of one way or the other. Like there's no common ground anymore. It's hate. It's either one side or the fucking other. And if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong and you're a Nazi and you're a fucking racist and this, that, and the other. And like it sucks, man. Like it sucks. It sucks to see.
It does suck to see a bunch of immature brats acting out based off of what other people are doing. I agree. I've been watching this whole thing going, does everybody realize that not just one person can push a nuclear, like he can't just go push a button and it destroys everything. Like we have a government, we have things in place. And even with whatever you want to call it, corruption, or even with people that are trying to change our current ways, like it won't. People have tried before. Trump's not the first president that's got the vernacular that he does. We've had past presidents that have been just as visceral and divisive, but America and the Constitution is stronger than any fucking one person. That's why I keep telling people, like, I mean, I would get pissed if there was a third attempt. If he runs for a third term and tries to break that.
See, he can't do it. It's in the Constitution. He can't.
There's a lot of.
He joke with it because it drives people fucking insane.
Well, because he's already doing it. Well, the problem is you say that, but he's already doing that to portions of the Constitution. Why not do it to that portion? Like, he's already doing the things, so it does scare. It is something to legitimately be. I'm legitimately concerned that they're going to try to pull some. I'm really hoping they just put J.D. Vance in play, because if they do that, then thank God. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's funny. My dad trying to, clean his ass and change his diaper and keep him clean and help him in bed. Like, he would, moan and complain and stuff, and I kept saying, Dad, I'm trying. And it would piss him off. And he would be like, quit telling me you're trying. And finally, I don't know, something happened. I was like, Dad, I'm trying. He's like, stop fucking saying you're trying. And I was like, well, quit yelling at me for saying I'm trying. He's like, John Kennedy tried. I just found that funny.
Yeah.
John Kennedy tried.
Don't try, do it, motherfucker. Quit trying, just do it. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Now, when your kids say, "I'm trying, Dad," you're gonna be like, "God damn, John Kennedy."
Donald Trump tried. Joe Biden tried to put a sentence together. Oh shit, man! But I'm getting ready to go meet my family for breakfast.
That's one thing I will say is that when I came there to visit you, I was super happy to see that you were all sitting there around, like, when you're going, I hope you have people sitting around you when you're going. You know what I mean?
Right, me too. And I've been trying to. Bailey's going through a hard time right now, and she's going through puberty, and the whole school groups and mean girls and all
that she's in Hardin County too. You should. When are you and Bailey going?
She wants to spend all her time with her friends, and I get it. When I was that age, I didn't want to fucking hang out with my family at all. But I tried to explain to her, like, when you come into this world, the only people that are there are your family, and when you leave this world, the only people that are going to be there are maybe a few close friends and family, and that's all you got. Like, that's all you got.
Yeah, I would. You preach too much to her, like, because when we were kids, we didn't listen to that shit. We didn't want to fucking hear that shit. That makes a lot of sense to you and I. We get it. She's in her field. So what I would recommend is you and Bailey come down here while we have Tempe, not this weekend, but well, next weekend we have a graduation party on Sunday, but Saturday, something where we might have baseball games all day next week. I don't know. But come down here on a weekend and let her spend some time. Like, you guys do something fun. Go to Newport or do something.
Yeah, we need to. She was just down there like a couple weeks ago for a school trip. They went, I think they
Kings
went to the
Island?
Newport Aquarium.
Oh, yeah.
and
I heard
they
about
went
that.
on a boat ride on the Ohio River. But yeah, she asks about Tempe all the time. When I bring you up, she's like, "Whatever happened to that girl?" or whatever.
She's still a brat. She's upstairs right now. Yeah, everybody's home. Like 24 and well, 25 was really the roughest, but you know, getting Jonah full time 24 in November, late 24, getting Jonah full time, but at the same time, while I'm going to pick him up from his mom, who's basically abandoning him, I get a lawsuit that's basically destroying my, yeah, like all the credit I built and everything. Like, I had a 700, I was doing really well, and this lawsuit came and fucking, yeah, like I could have spent hundreds of thousands, but a good strategy that people like, even your boy Donald Trump, just file bankruptcy. It's just a tool. You can file bankruptcy every 8 years and wipe your debt. I had over $250,000 in debt with the SBA loan and everything else, and all that shit got wiped. That means all the gear, everything, like all that shit. And I'm sitting there feeling like a piece of shit. Like, I had to pay like 20 grand to do my bankruptcy because I have a business involved with it.
Right.
When when doing her, we're getting ready to do her bankruptcy, and we're looking at costs and stuff, and it's like $1,200, and that's all wrapped up in a lump sum, and you pay that, and they'll take care of your bankruptcy. I'm like, what the fuck? Mine was like fucking damn near 20. Why? What the fuck? He's like, well, you had your businesses. I'm like, oh, so that's why I had to pay, like, to keep my fucking shit. I had to fucking give them a account for everything I had. I had to spend over 9 grand just to keep the shit that I wanted to keep, like my cameras and gear and shit. So, and they tried saying that it wasn't work related. I'm like, are you fucking, like, this is a hobby? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, yeah, like, money sucks, dude. I gotta go.
Hey, my mom's calling. I think she's getting ready to come pick me up or something. Or said we're getting ready to go lunch. But yeah, my dad did tell me the other day. He's like, you need to take Bailey somewhere here soon. This, that, and the other, because I haven't done much with her for the last year or so. But yeah, I just still feel like I can't leave because like I got to take care of him. You know what I mean? Like,
he's not there, but you feel like you're still like, yeah. That dude, give it a week or two.
Well, when they took him out yesterday, like I sit here in his house and I wanted to go get some cigarettes and something to drink, and I was just sitting here like I can't leave. Like, I felt like I couldn't leave.
Yeah, because you got to take care of your dad. You can't just leave him sit
Right.
there. But wait a minute, he's gone. It's going, dude. It hasn't hit you yet. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to fucking suck when it does hit you. So if you need, just give me a call if you need to chat.
Will do, man. I'll get a hold of you.
All right, talk soon.
Yep, later.
Yeah. Bullshit. They're coming to start the yard today. Finally, I should go get a drone shot of how it's not good. I am not. Good morning.
Good morning, Joseph. Sorry, I've been on an IRS call since 8 o'clock.
And it's Friday, and Fridays are my days, and I've been exhausted, so I stayed in bed until like 8 o'clock. So I'm sorry.
That's all right. You obviously saw my text.
I did, and I do see that Alta Fiber was doing maintenance on our dedicated, which is what the VPN works over. So I'm hoping those two are connected, and if they're done, they should be done. So can you try again for me?
Okay, well, right now, okay, all right. I'll hit connecting. Although right now we're that box that comes up says file objects, which is my thing, and then it says like not connected. The middle thing says not connected. And it says Bluetooth on it.
Hold on. Maybe if I jump on your computer, I can see what you're seeing. I'm hoping you're on the internet.
Sorry.
I'm hoping you're even on the internet. It sounds like you might not even
Well, I
be
am on the internet. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've been able to do on that. I just couldn't get to my, the tax computer. The thing's taking forever. It says connecting, and then normally it comes up and says not connected. Or can't connect. I think that's what it says. It takes a while. Are you getting on? I guess I'm on. Well, let me see.
What? No.
Let's see if this will open up the tax computer now. I still get that unknown remote connection when I always click drives, clipboard, and printers on and hit connect. Come on, baby. It says remote cannot connect.
I am almost to your machine. That's Benjamin's machine. I need your machine.
No, or it said VPN. It says VPN. But it doesn't light up down on it usually lights up down underneath the thing.
Yeah, it looks like you're.
Are you in?
It's loading. It's trying. It's coming.
I'll take control. There you are. You have the mouse. See my
Yeah,
little-
you're on the internet. That's a plus. Still not fully loading for me. Still waiting for it to load. Come on, you can do it.
You see the little thing there at the bottom. That's what I usually click on to see what.
I only half of your screen is loaded for me so far. Now it just kicked me off. I wonder if your internet is acting up.
I said, you're off again, okay? So I mean,
Yeah, it kicked me off, and
I'm
now
on
it
the
put me.
I'm on the SharePoint Fisher Design website.
Yep, I see that now. It looks like it finally loaded. Looks like you have some updates it's wanting you to do here, big guy.
It's the first time I saw that little dot going on.
Where are you at? Here we go. We got. That's just for the printer. Oh, it's Dell Ink firmware. That's for your firmware for your computer. That shouldn't have anything to do with what we're doing right now, so I'm not pressed about that. Let's see. Internet. And it should already be connected. What the heck is going on? Yeah, where's your little box at? I know you have the Eero, right? You have the little Eero box, right?
Yeah.
How-
Here on my table next to my desk.
How many of those do you have at your house?
3.
There's a main one that's next to the internet, where the actual internet comes in. Where's that at? Would it be too much of a pain for you to go to the basement? And I want you to unplug not the Eero, but the. I guess you're on Ultrafiber, I'm assuming. Is that what that said?
Multifiber, yeah.
So So Alta Fiber, you should have a Zycell or something similar to that near the Eero.
When you go down there, is that that'll disconnect me from the internet though?
Completely, yes. So if you have cameras or anything running right now, we will interrupt it for a few minutes.
I don't have cameras. That'll probably mess up the TV though. Won't it? TV's not on, but I mean,
anything relying on streaming, yeah, you're going to lose it. But it should, anything that's on and using the internet when it stops, it'll stop. But when it comes back on, it should continue once it picks back up.
okay, let me go down here and see if. So, well, my wife handles it, so I haven't done this before. So
Yeah, I have a feeling that it might be on the internet. Something's going on with your internet. That ping rate, I'm not happy with. I want to see you guys a little faster than that.
So I have a hero right here next to, I guess my.
ZYXELL Zycell.
Is that something else that I'm supposed to see?
Well, there should be an Ethernet cable on the back of that Eero that goes to another box that has an Ethernet cord. Like that Ethernet cord plugs into another box.
Yeah, that's up on top here. Yes, it's a Nokia. It's a white.
Oh, it's
box.
Nokia. Okay, you got Nokia. All right.
Yeah.
Unplug the power to that and plug it back in.
Unplug the power to it.
Yep, for about 10 seconds, then plug it back in. If possible.
They're not. Don't take anything. I mean, it's tied to a. Let's see here. It's okay. It's plugged into a. What do you call it? Do I unplug it off there, or just unplug it where it's plugged into my electric?
You can plug it from the outlet or from the back of the unit. Either one.
Okay, I'll take it from the. Okay. I'll take it from the outlet, which is a whatchamacallit.
A power
All right,
strip.
pull it out of there.
Yep.
All right, did that.
Give it a few seconds here. Let it completely lose all of its energy, and then plug it back in.
Okay, plug it back
Yep.
in. Okay. Did that. That's gonna reboot it or whatever.
That should turn it on. It'll go through its sequences to boot up and connect us to the internet. Yeah, I just lost connection to your computer. Yeah, if you plugged it back in, you shouldn't have to touch anything else. You should be able to walk back upstairs, and we should be okay. I'll know when your connection's back when I get connected back to your computer.
No, come on, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have to close anything. I just wait until it connects back to your computer, and that lets me know it's back up and running.
Oh, while you're thinking about that, I didn't see your charge come through.
I didn't. I really just want to get it done before this weekend. I meant to do it yesterday, but I got so swamped yesterday. I'm going to run it today. We're going to be gone all weekend, and I don't want to deal with any work this week.
Okay. All right. So, I don't need to. My computer.
Yeah,
is still just showing that speed test things on.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to reconnect. It'll take a few moments here. Your internet might say it's connected too, but it probably won't work because the modem's still booting up, I'm assuming.
Well, things are starting to delete or this thing that you had up is some things are blocking out, some aren't.
You can try refreshing that speed test page. If you hit the refresh button, if it loads, then I know we're good. If it doesn't load, then it's still loading.
What's the refresh button?
It's up towards the top. It's the little next to the arrow. It's like a little round with the arrow, round circle with the arrow towards the top.
Round circle with a was like a teardrop or something.
If you look at the top left where the you're on Windows. Sorry, Windows is still top left hand corner. You see the arrow, the back button.
Yeah.
It should be right next to that, a little refresh button.
Is that the circle thing?
Yes.
Reload this page?
There you go. Okay. Yep. That's the refresh button.
Okay. I should remember all this stuff, man.
Hey, you know, you've seen so much change in your time, my friend. You're good.
Okay. So this site cannot be reached.
Yeah, it's still down.
Circles.
Yeah,
oh, wait a minute. It's coming back up again.
Okay. I still haven't connected to your computer. I'm waiting.
Things are moving around. So the internet looks like it's back on again.
Yep, I'm connecting. Here we go. Here we go. Come on.
Okay.
There's my screen. Thank you.
It,
Son of a. Okay. This is fun.
it's what, 23?
Yeah, but I'm hoping this still works. Like it wants to let me finish it, but it doesn't. There we go. All right. There, make sure it's there. Ah, beautiful. So we know your VPN access is working. That's good. Close that. So your account is good. Let me.
It's updating.
I gotta log into my firewall and set your VPN up on your computer again. I don't know. I'm hoping just by it's almost like taking the VPN out of your computer and putting it back in, hoping it'll connect again. Like maybe something's just acting stupid with it. I'm spitballing at this point, trying to get it to work.
Okay. So, how long of a process is that by chance?
I would ask for maybe another 3 to 5 minutes with you on the phone here. If I can't figure it out with you on the phone, I'll ask you to let me work on it, and I'll call you back when I'm done working on it. Oh,
So you'll call me when you're done.
just give me a few more moments here, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you on here for another 3 to 5 more minutes, and then if I don't have it figured out by then, I'm gonna let you go, and I will work on this on my own.
Yeah, because Bill called me while I was on the tax call too, so I don't know what he wanted. I don't think maybe enough he left a message. I just called you right away.
Well, I appreciate that. All right, so we're gonna take this VPN connection. We're gonna remove it. You don't need it. You don't want it. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you do. So let's put it back. There we go.
It's a necessity, that's for sure.
VPN.
Complaint today. They needed the information today. I was like, oh my god.
Well, that'd be the day that they would need it. That's how life works. I'm trying to get Andy to take over my. Hey, just give me a budget. Tell me this is what I'm allowed to spend. Like my personal little. Like I need him to like play wifey for me. Just do my budget.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking.
No, yeah. Andy from AP Schweitzer.
Andy the accountant. Yeah. I forget his last name. What's his last name?
Schweitzer.
Schweitzer, yeah. I imagine he's always busy.
He's a lot. I'd say he's a lot like me. Like as far as like a nutcase and working too much goes, he does work a lot. That's why he's a good business partner. I like working with him.
How many people does he have? Do you?
It's him and 5 people that he has working for him. He does insurance, bookkeeping, and taxes, and would love to have your input and have you part of it. We're creating what we call the VCFO role, where we manage finances, and in fact, that's what I've been saying is if we build those systems for Fisher, when you're ready to retire, there is nothing we need to do. Like, they don't have to find somebody because the systems we put in place just need to find somebody to manage the systems we put in place.
Well, I figured that was one of the reasons we selected Andy, was that he could take my spot.
That's and that's what I've told Bill, and that's what I've told Andy. I was like, we need to build out Fisher Designs, like actual systems to help them. So that way, when Randy, or even still keep you as a consultant, to just check in on it every now and then, make sure things are going the way they want it. All right, I got to do one more thing, then we'll test this. If this doesn't work, I'll let you go. 1 second.
Okay.
Where is the dang? They make it so hard to get to the old settings now. There it is. Oh my goodness. It'd be done right now if we knew how to navigate Windows.
Was it just Scott and I, right? They have the Windows machines?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I have, there's so many, yeah, that's not the only one. Oh, so where's the VPN?
Over to the right. I think it just came up. Fisher Design VPN. Is that what you're looking? Oh, you're over there.
It should show up on the screen, your adapter.
On the other screen, I see a Fisher Designs VPN. Never mind. Can you get on? Go.
Oh, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I couldn't see the screen before. Here it is.
Disconnected.
Yep. I want to go to the properties before we try to connect it. All right. Options. Security. This, we want to require this. I think that's right. One way to find out. Yeah, it's not connecting. All right, my guy. I've re-added it and it's still not working. So you broke it good.
What is that Bluetooth? When you go down there to the bottom, you click that band thing or whatever. Down there, that thing, and up there with the Bluetooth, that's normally lit up before the connecting hits. It says not connected.
Yeah, do you have Bluetooth devices that you connect to? Your keyboard, apparently.
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, that was just Bluetooth was just turned off. I turned it back on. Not sure why it was turned off.
That says, no.
What's your damn password? All right, well, like I said, it was 6 minutes. My bad, but I'll let you go. Let me work on this. I'll call you once I feel like I have you connected to the VPN. What are you trying to connect to right now to get to do?
My tax computer.
Oh, yeah, you can't get to it without the VPN. Yeah, I can do a workaround if we can't get the VPN working, but I'd rather get the VPN working. So give me a few more. Let me work on this. In fact, you know what? It's probably me being the biggest idiot of all. But when's the last time you rebooted this thing? Probably should have started there.
Well, I mean, I had it shut down.
It's been more than 2 weeks since it's been rebooted.
Where does it say that at?
Right here, uptime.
16 hours?
16 days, 13 hours, 28 minutes, and 48 seconds, 49 seconds, 50 seconds. So, yeah, we need to...
How often should it be rebooted then?
Whenever it starts acting wonky. I do it once a week at least. once a week. Now, are you hitting? Yes, you want to do a restart. If you do a shutdown, it doesn't truly shut it does. It'll power off, but it puts it in a hibernation state. So when you hit the power button to turn it back on, they do that so that way it turns on quickly when you hit the power button on. But it still loaded everything that was loaded before. It just wakes it up. So when you do a restart, it actually clears everything and starts everything over from scratch. Like it's not like from the factory where you have to reset all the settings up, but it wipes all the apps and everything to actually closes everything to where they open up fresh again. When you do a shutdown, it does not do that.
So once a week I should restart.
I recommend everybody restart. Leave your computers running 24/7, 365, but restart it once a week. And let it go to sleep whenever you want it to go to sleep. But don't shut it down every day. Let it run, but reboot it once a week at least. Or when you start having weird anomalies.
Well, this is the first weird anomaly dealer.
At least in 2 weeks. Let me know when it comes back up because, yeah, you can still go. I can work on this and let you know when I'm done if you want to go.
Well, I'm going to let you know. It's showing down on the small computer. The other monitors are dark at the moment. Am I going to have to put in the password?
Yeah, you'll have to log into it, and once you log into it, we can try the VPN again. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, I'll let you go and I'll dig into it.
Updating your firmware, do not power down. It's updating systems, BIOS, it says.
Yeah, the BIOS, that's the firmware. Definitely don't shut it down right now. Let it do its thing.
Yeah. So that's the internet, right?
That's the for your motherboard to have the processor, the RAM, the video, the sound, everything to work together. Your BIOS is like your operating system that lets all these things come together. Windows is the operating system that allows apps to run on the hardware. So the hardware has an operating system that's called BIOS. Something like that. That's how it was explained to me in school.
I think this is the first time I've ever seen this updating system going on.
Yeah, it's very where you would see normal updates once every month or once a quarter. These updates you see maybe once every 6 months to once every 2 years. Like it's very rare that these updates come out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is hardware updates. This
is Dell?
This is Dell doing Dell updates on its hardware, correct?
Oh, okay. So I might have seen something where you see a little Dell thing, and I was always kind of wondering what those were.
Yeah, Dell has software that runs on the Windows as well that monitors the hardware, but there's a lot of variables in the equation, you know.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
And I thought that work was complicated. This is complicated, very complicated.
It's all complicated. And, you know, that's what drives me nuts is because, like, now I'm learning about taxes. I'm learning all the rules. Like, have you seen some of these board games these kids play nowadays?
Yeah, probably not.
I'm telling you, it's like these kids don't want to go to college, but they will learn chemistry. It feels like they're learning chemistry just to play this game. Like a character has all these attributes and you roll a dice and depending on what size of dice you like, there's so many little intricate little rules but they can't understand simple common sense. It just drives me nuts.
Well, my oldest daughter is homeschooling her 3 kids, and it seems incredible what they seem to be doing and how they learn compared to the normal classroom.
I can only imagine. And the classroom is just teaching you 1 + 1 = 2, where at home you're learning ethics and you're learning real world. Yeah, teachers are there to teach you arithmetic, not how to be a good human.
You know how to spell arithmetic, right?
Oh, don't get me. No, I don't. I can't even spell.
You never heard the thing, whatever you call it, a rat in Tom's house may eat Tom's ice cream. That's how you.
A rat in Tom's house.
Starting letter of all those are spell arithmetic.
Nice.
I don't know who taught me that, but they taught me that back in, I was probably 10 years old or 8, 9 years old or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That's how our teacher was teaching us how to remember the states. She sang it to us, and I can still sing that song, like Washington Olympia. Like you go through the whole, like the way she sang it. I can redo it the way she did it, but guarantee nobody else does it, other than the kids that she teached.
I remember, fifth grade, I had to know the capitals of the states.
Yeah.
Paramount, the states, and the thing. And I remember Mrs. Splain said, anybody like to take an attempt at that? And I raised my hand and I rattled through all 50 of them. She goes, nice job. She didn't expect anybody to know.
Yeah, she didn't go show off. You attention now. All right, so I'm.
All right, so I need to.
VPN. Yeah, let's try it real quick. Let's see if it happens.
Let me put the password in here.
Yep.
Okay, so
I should be connecting.
your take control.
Yep, it's low. I can't see your screen yet. It's low. Oh, here it comes. Now I can see it. All right. Let's try that VPN. Do you want to go ahead and click it?
You want me to do that? Okay.
Yeah. See what happens.
The middle thing still says not connected. Connecting. Fisher Design VPN, it says, but the middle thing still says not connected.
Yeah, that's Bluetooth. I don't know. Do you have any Bluetooth devices that you want to connect to?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is your mouse or keyboard? Neither of those are wireless. They're both wired, right?
Both of them are wired, yeah.
Or any headsets or anything like that.
Now headsets, and one of these days I probably need to get all this.
Now it kicked me off, so that tells me that it probably connected to the VPN.
Okay, let me see if I can get to the other computer.
Give it a shot.
Okay, there's that typical thing where I click the printers and stuff, hit connect. This is encouraging. It says, identity and remote cannot be verified. You still want to connect? I want to say yes.
Well, that tells me we're good. Yeah,
Do I need to say, don't ask me again for connections for this computer?
you can check that box. It'll quit asking you that every time.
Yes.
The IP changes.
Looking good.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're back up and running. Yeah, I bet you it was that reboot that did it. So yeah, I should have. I kicked myself in the ass for that. I should have told you to reboot from the rip. That's where I'm supposed to start that. I should know that. All right.
All right, sir. Well,
sorry for the morning. Yeah.
And then you'll be hitting the card obviously today or tomorrow or whenever. That's fine.
I'm probably going to do that here within the hour or two. In fact, now that I got everything pulled up, I might as well go ahead and get it. I'll probably do it here once we're done talking. I'm going to check my email and I'll probably work on billing and wrap it up. So, we're leaving this evening, so I'm going to get everything wrapped up.
Now, here I am. 5 updates are ready to just disappeared. Ready to install. Is that?
Is that on your? Hold on. I bet you that's on the remote computer.
No.
I can jump on it, but it'll kick you
I'm
off.
looking at the computer on the monitor. Yeah, that showed up. Yeah.
Actually, let me jump on your computer with you real quick.
I'm looking at the remote computer now. Do I need to be on the other one?
No, I'll be there in just a second.
Okay.
Come on, load up. Yeah, we rebooted you. We rebooted everything but the computer at first. Lord have mercy. All right. So this is the remote computer. I'm assuming this is the one that has the updates.
Yeah, the Windows update. Not the thing that showed up was the Dell updates.
Dell updates. Well, this is a Dell 2, so I'm assuming. Okay, well, that's not it. Let's do this.
It said 5 updates and that thing that flashed on there. That showed up on my monitor on the computer. Fix your computer. Oh, you're there.
Yep. So these both have the same update. So it's definitely a Dell optimizer. And I usually gut all the Dell crap. I'm not too pressed about the Dell updates because usually it's for like something to do with their
That's fine.
their software. Dell Digital Delivery, whatever it is. Yeah. I'm not pressed about whatever it was. Just let me know if it becomes annoying or if it's popping up constantly or something. Try to take a screenshot so I can see what it is. If you catch it.
Okay. If I catch it, yeah, it was boom, boom, and gone. I think hold on. Any previous time I had seen that, did I take a picture of it? That's a, not that one. I don't think it's ever, it flashes up so quickly that I don't think I was able to ever get my, I think I think about it, but it doesn't happen. No, I don't see it offhand. I'll try to take a picture next time it shows up.
Sounds good, boss. All right, I'm gonna jump off your computer. Go do some billing. Yeah. If you need anything else, boss, you have a great weekend.
I will. You too, sir.
All right,
Thank
see
you. Bye-bye.
Boom. Let me clear my throat.
When you look around you at your surroundings through your eyeballs, what you're seeing is not reality. Everything that you call the world is not the world. You were evolved to see just enough information to not walk off a cliff or to be able to spot the tiger coming towards you. You're given the bare minimum amount of information in order to not die. I don't know if you did this when you were a kid, but I always I was talking with my brothers and stuff like that, thinking about, oh, how cool it would be to see a new color, a completely new color. It's not green, it's not yellow, it's not a blend of the two, but just a new one. How mind blowing that would be. What would that be like? But the truth is, those colors are everywhere. Human beings can see 0.0035% of the light spectrum. We call it the visible light spectrum. When you think about that, it's like, oh, this is all the light that you can see. Yeah, it's all the light that humans can see. But all that other light is out there all around you, passing through you, bouncing off of you. It's already out there. And we are looking at life through a pinhole, thinking that, oh yeah, this is real life. It's not real life. It's a shadow of a foggy reflection of life, which is why it's so funny when people get lost in their head. I do it all the time. You probably do it all the time. In fact, if you're watching this video, there's probably a really good chance that you're a neurotic person. The reason I know that is because people who are high in neuroticism are more likely to be into self-improvement, which means that you're just thinking all the time. You're probably a little bit more intelligent than average. And since you're so intelligent, you probably rely on your intellect, and you have historically relied on your intellect to get you through sticky situations. It probably served you well in school. You're probably a chronic procrastinator, but you were able to be a procrastinator because your intellect got you out of a sticky situation. When you kick the can, further and further down the road, and you have like 1 hour to do something that should have taken you 3 days, your intellect was able to get you out of that sticky situation. You're smarter than most people. You were able to figure it out and get a finished product done faster than most people. But relying so heavily on your intellect presents many other problems. And that's because your intellect is stupid. As we've discussed previously, you can only see about 0.0035% of the visible light spectrum. What you think is reality, what you think is logic, what you think is solid thinking is not a representation of reality. But not only is your thinking dumb, the reason why you think is not for thinking's sake. That might make no sense, but you only think because of emotional reasons. Let me give you an example. I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, but if you have ever been a single guy and you've been out with your friends, say at the bar or something like that, and there's a girl off in the distance and your buddies say, hey, you should go approach her. In that moment, if you're a shy person, if you have
I have Evernote, I have Apple Notes, I have email, I have Slack, I have WhatsApp. I have every version of a text data entry application that exists on my computer. But when I'm on my Zoom calls in a meeting, it's this.
I've been on a mission. And I've been on a mission to be more productive and efficient with my time and my life as a whole. Because one of my primary goals is to make more videos. Make more videos, take more photos, but be efficient within that process. Scheduling content. How many reels can I make? How many can I plan? When does this video go out? When does this person want this video done? That is, in a sense, my entire life. So it makes sense for me to streamline that in some capacity. What type of videos am I making? Where am I going to make those videos? Who can help me with certain videos? And logically, a notebook, for me, has been the best place to do this. To-do lists, shot lists, gear for sale, calls and meetings, production meetings, brand meetings, all things contributing to this world live in this notebook. So how can I use this in the most efficient means so that it helps me?
Not every day you get to interview. So I figured I could either make this a headline-driven algorithm podcast or just spend an hour and a half asking the questions that matter most to me. Robbins, strategist to some of the most important people in the world, people that you have seen publicly and probably many more that you haven't seen privately. And he's both a wealth strategist, but also a life strategist. And so we're talking politicians, royal families, US presidents, Margaret Thatcher, Princess Diana, Andre Agassi, Mike Tyson, just the greats. And he's also published books. He's got 100 plus companies in his portfolio that do north of $7+ billion a year. And as impressive as that is, 12 billion, there you go. I was gonna say, I was like, I hope this number isn't wrong. I like looked all over the internet. Most importantly, at least for me personally, is that you wrote books that changed my life directly. And in a couple cool ways. So the first is there was an Indian guy who came here to the US 27 years ago, and he was working as a janitor. And he had such a thick accent that they said, you're never gonna get employed anywhere, you have to learn how to speak. And he tried to get, how to get rid of an Indian accent tapes, and those didn't really exist. And so they were like, well, you can check out these from the public library, it's Tony Robbins tapes. And so he would just mop the floors listening to Awake the Giant Within. Awake the Soup, sorry, I'm messing up. But yeah, thank you, yes. And so he's mopping the floors and he's doing it. And that man then started a software company, scaled that, sold it, started another company, sold that for $3.4 billion, did another company, took out from 200 to 1.2 billion. And I met him right around that time, and he's at acquisition.com. And so that's the first impact. What's his name? Sharon Srivatsan. I will. He would be here if he didn't have a reason there. The second direct impact is that there was a girl in Michigan who was 100 pounds overweight, had just been arrested 6 times just in the first couple years of college, and then was like, I need to change my life, and started listening to your tapes and reading your books. Lost 100 pounds, competed in a fitness competition, and then got into business, built a whole roster of clients for herself, and that's when I met my wife. Yeah, the one that most significantly impacted. Yeah. And then the third was me, obviously. And my actually entry into Money Matters the Game. That was the book that got me. And so for that reason, just everything. I actually had like 5 awards written down for this whole podcast. Okay. And I tried to compress a bunch of questions into just the most succinct thing that was actually top of mind for me, that I know would be top of mind for many of the business owners in my audience. So I have probably 60% of business owner audience, a third of them are going to. We also have people who are just getting started, but a lot of people are founding the business. And brothers and sisters out there. Yeah, in the game. Bet on yourself and grow. Yes. And so the first one was, how do you see the dichotomy between duty and enjoyment as it relates to the impact that you want to make with your business that? Well, it's interesting. Words are tricky. They can produce emotions. Sometimes we pick up words because the people are around. Sure. I used to play poker with a group of guys when I was like 19, 20, 21, and they were older than I was. And they were all married except one. And I was surprised to see one day where one of the guys, I knew he loved his wife so much. Well, 2 of the other guys always were talking about their wives, like I go back to the old ball and chain, And one day, I couldn't help see it. It was like I was a witness. The guy that really loves his wife, I don't have anything on the other guy, going on my own ball and chain, right? And the language we use produces emotion. And sometimes we can pick up words and actually pick up emotions. So, well, no, it's just like, if somebody yawns, you yawn too, or somebody starts to laugh, the words are even more powerful. So duty could be a good word. Like if you're seeing yourself like a soldier, right? But I don't look at it that way. I look at it as obligation? No, I don't look at obligation. Sorry. No, it's okay. But I say this because I saw this in your language. I don't know if it's helpful to you. I don't pretend to coach you in a way. But for me, at least, I can tell you, I look at it as opportunity. I don't feel a sense of duty. I feel a sense of joy from being able to contribute. To me, contribution is what we're made for. Like, it's not hard to meet your own needs as a human being. Right? It's not that difficult today in the world we're in today. But to have a fulfilling life, you have to have something you care about more than yourself. Yeah. And so if you're given a business just to make money, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Those people usually, even if they succeed, they hit a limit of fulfillment because the economic returns only produce so much. Yeah. So I don't look at duty and enjoyment. I look at it as more like it's all enjoyment because contribution is the ultimate enjoyment for me. I mean, I get a business for impact, and economics are second. If I have enough impact, you'll never have to worry about economics in your life. And I've found that to be true in my own life. So I don't look at it quite that way. I look at it also, though, that if you think you're going to really enjoy your life and not doing anything, I think you're deluded because you'll wake up one day because the only thing that makes us feel alive is growth. When you grow, then you have something to give. And when you give, then your life is more meaningful than just, pleasure. You can give yourself pleasure by, money, food, alcohol, sex, whatever it is, But it's never going to be the same as when you have something that's larger than you that you're called to. It's like, I think the word motivation because I've never been a motivator, but people use the word. So I'll say, well, there's 2 types of motivation. Think of it that way. There's push motivation, which is, let's say, duty, or I've got to do this, or I have to do, or obligation, right? Well, I'm going to make this happen. And look, brother, you have a huge amount of willpower. It's pretty obvious that I want you to accomplish. I have tremendous respect for you. And I do too. But willpower only goes so far. That's push. Pull motivation is when there's something out there that you want to serve more than yourself that'll get you up early, keep you up late. And it isn't hard. It isn't duty. It is like what I'm made for. When you tap into that, your energy level will explode, your contribution will explode. It doesn't mean overnight everything is going to work your way. Of course it doesn't work that way. But it will give you the constant endurance to move forward in a way in which you enjoy your life rather than someday when I get to this number, then I'm slowly going to feel good. Because it's not true. You get to the number, and this numbers will never be enough. Right? You know that. You've done incredibly well. And I have so many friends that they got their business, they sold it, they made $1 billion, $2 billion, whatever it is, and they, 5 months later, they're looking to get back in business again. So many of their needs were met by the demands and the challenges that are growing. I think the biggest problem we have as human beings is that we think we shouldn't have any. It's like problems make you grow. Problems call to you because
Listen, you lift from ultra good shape. You wouldn't be there if you lifted light weights and did 100 curls with some lightweight, right? You're built. You built this body. You built it by challenging it. But some people, maybe because of your background in the fitness industry, no pain, no gain. But today we know that's not true. You know, we know today that's minimum dose will produce the maximum result. If you overdo it, you tear down too much, right? It's like finding the right dose, just like anything else, like a drug for someone. And so I really think if you think you're going to just go off and enjoy your life and not.
Please leave a voice note after the tone.
Well, morning. Are you working today?
Yeah.
I'm running billing for June, and I didn't know. I can come back to it next week. I didn't know if I can go ahead and run that $200 today. You can go ahead and, well, I guess that would be higher than running that money. Anyway, do you want me to wait till next week? I can. It's up to you. I just figured I'd ask. Okay. Are you? What all you got on your plate? When's the next time you leaving for a trip or something?
Tomorrow.
And then when are you back?
Friday.
So you're out all next week.
Yeah, I'm not in town.
But you'll be working?
If I need to.
You just going to Alabama or something? What are you doing?
Yeah, Alabama.
Isn't it hot down there right now?
It's probably in the 80s.
Well,
But it's the only week that's open for pretty much the rest of the summer.
did Hunter never did get that place from you last year or whatever it was, did he?
No, I never reached out to him.
I think they had a fight or something and got back together. I can't remember what happened. I'll ask the wife, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I just now remembered that. But yeah. Okay. Well, when you get back, we should. I'm gonna go. Have you talked to Kevin recently?
Town. And I've been busy this week. I haven't gotten with him.
How much do you guys talk outside of the three of us talking?
Not much. Only when we have issues with data or whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get us all to work as one big happy family and trust each other to care for clients. I don't think, I mean, at least for me, like financially, I do want to grow, but like I don't mind handing a client that I find to the right partners as long as we're doing that with each other. What's the wrap up with Allwall? What are we going to do here? Like, who's the new? How do we inform the write-off guy, the writer? how do we update him with the new person and all that? Like, what's the plan there?
They're using some company in St. Louis that specializes in the DFAR certification.
Well, was you done talking? I didn't know if you were still saying something.
The CMCC1 or whatever and DFARs, they're mapping all that out and work with Barry on that.
And when, like, am I going to be able to talk to these people, or is that like is Ben trying to like root me out of the whole thing and not let me like do the transition?
I don't know. That's a Ben question. I mean, we're just waiting for the other company to tell us what we need to do.
And what about the security concerns I put in the? I can't get the admin pipeline to look at it anymore. But did you guys do anything about the security concerns I raised with the people from outside of like, the consumer accounts on the tenant? It looks like Mary or somebody is working with somebody that uses Yahoo and shit. I can't remember. I don't have access anymore. It's been a couple months. I can't remember what all it was. I had it all in the admin pipeline.
It should be just that shared folder for sharing documents that are classified. But that's what that other company's doing.
Yeah, just I'm starting a company here. I'm trying to do this right, and there's underwriters with this contract that are working with the government. And now that we're involved, like I'm not going to look bad doing this. And I'm going to report things the way I see it. I really hope we're working together to send a report together. I hope he understands what I don't think he does understand. I don't think you understand what you guys are. I really hope you guys understand the requirements here and that you guys are, yeah. When I send my report to the underwriter, that's all I know. Is I'd rather us do this together than for me to say, hey, I have no idea what's going on. These guys are cut us out for the last 2 months. So if you want to, I'll put an email together and reach out to Ben and ask what the hell's going on. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you next week. I am going to try to get with Kevin, and I'm going to stick to the whole you're reactive, he's proactive, on managed model, unless you see a different way that we can approach it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see us moving our clients to Summit. The new clients that come in, to Navicor, if you want to place those at Summit.
Well, no, it depends on how they qualify. I need you to really understand this because they're all tech plans. You need to help the MTP understand what a reactive tech plan looks like. Okay, they get a worksheet. They get an admin site with very limited stuff that only Jay can, because they're reactive. Jay's managing these accounts. He can't be going and doing admin pipelines and all this SOP and P. He doesn't do all that. He's just a reactive tech plan manager. So all of our reactive tech plans, they go to Jay. So if I get a client and I want to put them under somewhere, they're going to go where they belong. If they're reactive, then they go to Jay. If they need more than what Jay does with his account management style, then they need to go to Kevin. If they want somebody to fully manage their tech plan and use the MTP, well, then they would go under Navicor. That's the model. So it depends on the tech plan. How does it fit? Where does it fit? And I have a meeting with John Salisbury because we got clients that even the MTP isn't prepared for, that if we get an opportunity, I don't look like a dumbass or try to wing something that we're too small for, right?
Right.
So John, if I can get him to see this, and if we get opportunities to feed them to him, if they're willing to back all of this up, and they know Summit's part of it, and they know what we're doing, maybe we can get NextGen to send us their scraps.
You're right.
It doesn't necessarily.
So I meet with him on Monday at the office. I was going to try to get you to come to it, but you're going to be out of town. And then when you get back, I'd like you to go to Cincy AI Week with me.
Okay.
I'm going to try to get us tickets. I'm not spending money on tickets. So if I get us free tickets, you'll need to come. I don't know if you know what it is, but you need to come. All right. I'll let you go. Enough abusing you. Have a good one.
Thanks. Yep. Bye.
place too, but to me, the expectation is a pleasure. I think the language we use trains our brain. It's like if you said to me, if I said to you during the break here, let's have some nutritious snacks. I said that to the mass audience, maybe for you to respond positive because you're fed. And most people are like, But if I say delicious snacks, they're interested. Or someone says to me, Tony, you meet so many people, hook me up, introduce me to a great guy, a great woman. And if I said to them, well, I know this guy or I know this woman, they're really nice. Versus, they're sensual, they're sexy, they're amazing, they're delicious. They're different pieces.
not nutritious.
So not nutritious. But you see what I mean? The words change your biochemistry. The words you attach to an experience become your experience. If you over and over use certain words, you won't even know it, and you'll train yourself to have certain, what I call an emotional home. Certain emotions you go back to because the language takes you there. And duty and responsibility, if you're trained like a soldier, that might work. If you've trained yourself at no pain, no gain, that might work. But how old do you know, may I ask?
36.
Okay. At 36 years old, you built such a foundation of business, of contribution, of wealth, of your body. But at this stage, it shouldn't be pain. It shouldn't be suffering. I don't think it has to be any of those things. I think it can be total joy. But you have to kind of rewire your brain because otherwise that past training conditions you, in my opinion.
The issue.
Does that make any sense?
Yes. And I will just speak for me.
Yes.
The issue that I have is that I got here from pushing anger, for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think in the last however many years, I genuinely believe that's not as much a part of me. There's elements of that are still there, but it's not the core drive anymore.
Sure, me too.
The difficulty that I have is I work the hours that I'm awake, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the difficulty that I have is finding enjoyment outside of work. And the contribution from that perspective, I've spoken to a number of billionaires, yourself included, where I'm like, the next game, right? And so the game that we're in right now, I know, obviously there's going to be risks, there's going to be lots of things that we're going to do, but I feel like I have a direction what I know what we're doing. And when I talk to some of the billionaires that are in more private equity, financial engineering, commodities trading, different than maybe what, obviously what you do and to a degree what I do.
I'm actually in the business too.
Yeah. They were like, you should do something that really helps people. And I was like, I feel like I do that. There's, only 0.1% of people who see any of the content, the courses, the books, whatever that we put out, I monetize in any way. And to a degree, I also reject the idea that charity must be something that does harm to you in order for it to be virtuous, right? So that is probably a struggle that I have dealt with, which is that I have an apathy issue. I'll tell you a microcosm of this is when I got in the fitness industry, I got into it because fitness was the only thing I was really into. And so I said, well, I'll do something I love because I was a management consultant. This sucks. I'm gonna do something I love. And then as soon as I got into the business of fitness, I realized that the vast majority of the day had nothing to do with fitness at all. And it was billing and membership sales and all this other stuff. And when I started getting the testimonials coming into these people who were going through our process, losing weight, getting off medications, whatever, maybe the first couple months it felt like something. But then on the 100th and the 1000th, I was like, yeah, you stopped, you moved better, and you stopped eating shit, and it worked out. It's not, basically the magic was gone for me. And so to the same degree, I would say it has occurred within what I do today, but I don't even feel in some ways that I am driven. I do this because I don't know what else to do. It's this is the only thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
And so I do what I'm rewarded for doing. The biggest thing selfishly that I was really, or I am, looking forward to, as I'm trying to navigate.
So it's almost, you got to set your fulfillment and you're not going beyond it.
Yes. When I was 20, I got obsessed with positive psychology. I had a trunk of books, and every single one of them was self-help, things like this, early on, before I had a business, any of that stuff. And I got to a point where I realized I read all the books in my life had changed. And it felt very hopeless for me because my subjective well-being was the same. And so I came up with a mantra for myself, which you might laugh at, which was fuck happiness. Because I felt so rejected by the notion, because I felt so unattainable for me. And so what I replaced it with, I'll be useful.
That's great. A meaningful life is a very useful life. Right?
And that's basically what I wanted my entire life around. Was that's why duty for me feels meaningful, because it's I might not enjoy this thing, but everyone else can get stuff out. And so that's the struggle that I have, because I'm okay with that.
You're okay with it, but you're torn by it.
Yes. No, agreed.
Agreed.
I will accept that.
I'm saying you accept it.
Yes.
But would you accept anything else in your other businesses? Would you accept something that's mediocre compared to what you're capable
of? Course, yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you my 2 cents, which is also unless you stay emotionally so. The guys, the astronauts, you know, I got to interview several. Think of it. They went out, they competed, they wanted to be an astronaut, right? You had a version of that. I want to be a business owner, whatever it was you had, right? And they beat everybody, right? Tens of thousands of people. They got down to 100, down to 25, down to 6, down to the guys that go to the moon, right? They get a rocket that's built by the cheapest bidder, right? They're on their back, and they shot them out into the moon with technology that's far less than on your phone right now. And they walk on the moon, they look back and see that image. You and I have seen it. They took blue-green of the Earth, but that was them seeing it. And they make it back and survive. They splash down. They have a ticker tape parade. They shake the president's hand. Now, what the fuck do you do after you've walked on the moon for adventure?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's like you're 35 and you walked on the moon. What do? And most of them became alcoholics and drug addicted.
Yeah.
And the reason is they forgot how to find that joy or that adventure in a smile. And so you have trained yourself to be pain equals success, and success has a certain amount of value, but fuck happiness. You have literally hypnotized yourself into missing it because you weren't feeling fulfilled.
Yeah.
So the idea that these people keep telling you, I would tell you is true. And I'll just give my own experience. We're not the same person, but maybe it'll be instructive. I don't know. So, I don't know, maybe 10 years I found myself in a place where it's like, I love my life. I couldn't be more fulfilled than this. I have the most incredible wife. I have the most incredible kids. You know, I want to be an athlete and make it. You know, right behind you, I have like 6 national championship rings from different teams that I own or that I helped to coach and turn around. I'm working with the greatest athletes in the world, the greatest business people in the world. I'm having fun. I'm, you know, homes all over the world. There's nothing. What else could make me fulfilled? I mean, this is it. You know, I can't be anymore. I'm not complaining. But then there's some part of me like you that was hungry for more stuff. You wouldn't be asking that question unless there was part of you that wants a hunger for something called happiness or wants something besides just duty, or you wouldn't ask me. So, and I'm not telling you I have the answer, but I'll tell you what it was for me. It's like the same these people told you is me. I always was contributing, same as you. I've been doing it since very little. But I started saying, you know what I'm going to do? I want to do some moonshots in that area. I don't want to scale businesses. I've grown businesses from nothing up to 12 billion. It's like in those days it was like 4 billion. Like, what would really get me going? And at that point, I've been feeding people since I was a kid. When I was 9 years old, we had no food on Thanksgiving. Somebody came, delivered food, changed my life. It made me believe strangers care, so I care about strangers. And I started 2 families, 4 families. I got to 1 million, 4 million. So at this point, I've been feeding people 37 years. So I called my foundation, how many people have I fed in my lifetime? And they said 42 million. I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. But I had no association to it. I felt good about it, but I was doing it, you know, all these different ways. It's like, there's so much pain out there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed 1 billion people in the next 10 years. It took 37 years to do 42 million. I started out by saying, well, what if I did as many people I've done in my lifetime in the next 10 years? What if I did as many people in my lifetime in 1 year? Then I was like, what if we did 100 million people in a year? What if we did 100 million people in a year for 10 years and then 1 billion meals right here in the United States? And I got so ignited by that, Alex, that it was more than, it wasn't money, it wasn't business, it wasn't success, it wasn't, okay, there's a system. It was like, I have to rip apart. If it took me 37 years for 42 million to go to 1 billion, it's going to require me to think differently, come up with strategy different, be different, and to think of 1 billion lives. That number somehow brought a different level of life. It's kind of like Kennedy saying, we're going to go in this decade and we're going to land on the moon and bring a man back to the earth. And all the guys in NASA are like, bullshit, this is not going to happen, right? We don't have technology to do anything. I don't care. That's what we're going to do. There's something about building a moonshot for contribution on outside of what you've done in business. And I did it. I said I'd do it in 10 years. I did it 8 years. So then I finished that and was like, you know, traveling around the world, you see people starving. It's just trying to do what you're going to do. It's like, no, I need something bigger. So I was in the UAE and I had a lunch with MBZ, is the head of the country, brilliant man. And he calls the next day, he goes, I want to have lunch with you again. That's cool. I'm not going to do that, right? So I come and sit down with him. He goes, I brought you lunch today because there's 2 people feeding most people on earth and they should know each other. So he introduced me to Governor Beasley, who ran the World Food Program for the UN. So I said, well, I think you're doing more than me. And so we talked. He later won the Nobel Prize, but we stayed in a relationship. And because of our relationship, he got so frustrated with the bureaucracy of the UN that one day he said, so I must leave the UN. Because during his 5 years, we went from 80 million people at the verge of starvation to 385 million people. And just think of those numbers. You have to think of them. And you just think of those numbers, it doesn't. But if you follow like one child starving, it'll change the that system to something more ethereal. It's like watching a movie. Watch a movie about war. It's too much. If you follow one person and what they go through, you feel it. So I got associated with that, and I said to him, "What if we create a strike force team? If you're going to leave, how many meals would it take to feed everybody in the world for 10 years that need it, where it would give us time to build a sustainable solution? Because you can't keep doing the same thing." It was 40, 50, 60 billion meals. I said, let's do a 100 billion meal challenge. I said, I did 1 billion meals when I started. I wasn't a billionaire. I've been blessed, obviously, since that time. You do great work. You want to, if you bless others, you'll be blessed, right? I wasn't doing it for that reason. I just came about. So I said, well, there's got to be 90 more guys like me in the world. There's 3,000 billionaires or owners of companies or, countries that'll do this. So we did this 100 billion meal challenge, and we went to Forbes 400. I thought, we're going to get 50 of these guys, right? The richest people in the world. 4 people stood up. 4. Like, this is not working. We got to do something different. But I won't go into all the details. The strategy, the thought process, and what kept me going, though, is it's not just having this unreasonable goal. It's having strong enough emotional reasons. And I got in these environments where people are starving. I got in Sudan, there were 1 million people cut off by the rebels there. And they were starving them out. It was just this last year. And the UN sent all these food people in, and they killed the drivers and took the food. MBS, not MBZ, MBS from Saudi Arabia, cares deeply. He was trying to provide things. They killed everyone. So people stopped giving money to people who are going to starve. So I said, no, there's something different. I said, I'm just putting a line in the sand. You're going to feed these people. I'm going to provide enough food for 1 million people in a week. Who will match me? I got Ray Dalio in that. I'm pretty soon at $40 million. But how are you going to do it? This is where it gets so alive. It's like, no one else in the world's done it. We're going to do this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hire a bunch of I'm going to find some military contractors. We're going to take C-130s, and we're going to take drones, and we're going to deliver the food to the people. We delivered 22,000 meals that month and saved all these people starving to this. So when you do that, your level of fulfillment explodes. What the fuck compared to running a business? It's not even the same. And so I've been hooked on that. So now we got 62 billion meals in 3 years. Just beyond it anybody ever thought was humanly possible. And then so now he said we're going to do a song with We Are the World. I got Jimmy Jam, the most successful Grammy guy. And I got everybody you can imagine in the music business all building it together. We just completed our first version of that. And then I'm lucky enough, like I'm very blessed. I have a private plane, a 737. It burns a lot of carbon. I want to be conscious. How many trees does that burn? 3,000 trees a year. I'm like, I'll plant 100 million trees. I'm not just planting trees. I'm going to plant 100 million trees, and I'm going to work with the farmers. I'm going to show them how to go from making $1 a day to $12 a day by having 12. And I work with a group to do that. It's like, a friend of mine's daughter was kidnapped and put into slavery. Just insanity. It happens in America. It happens overseas, and nobody wants to talk about trafficking. But that got me associated to it. We actually helped somebody, and so I went out undercover. I had markings all over my face. They had a makeup person, they had scars on my face. I helped them negotiate these deals with these animals and do this. The ugliest thing I've seen in my life, also the most beautiful. But again, I didn't just give money. I didn't just write something. I just didn't put something. I went in the fucking trenches, and I'm sitting there watching these girls go through the worst thing on earth, meaning they're chained to a bed to do 8 or 10 tricks a day, and then we get them freed. We run them to this house. They've never been out there. They're out on the ocean. They're down here playing basketball. They're changing their lives. And so then I'm hooks. My wife and I have now funded 72,000. Started with 30,000. As many. I grew up in a town of 30,000 people. I want to free that many children, as big as the city I grew up in. Now we're at 72,000. I'm going tonight. We'll probably raise $5 million tonight. I do matching funds for everybody if they bet to do it. So what I'm trying to say to you is, get off your ass. Yeah. And I love you and I respect you. I'm not coming from that place. I hope you know where I'm coming from. You've accomplished more than most people dream in their lifetime. But when I say get off your emotional ass, stop this fuck happiness shit. Yeah. And just actually say to yourself, no, I deserve happiness. I'm going to create happiness, but I have to do it differently than before. I can't just get up and just work because I'm trained to work. I can't. I'm not a fucking robot anymore. Right? You're way too smart and you got way too big a heart. I know you. Everybody knows you well. I've seen you with your wife. You're an extraordinary human being. You're not just the guy here who does all these wonderful things, and they do wonderful things for people. You're absolutely right. But you're not connected to it, and you don't have something that you're obsessed about that makes you feel fully alive. You're doing it because you need to. The difference between have to, duty, and get to, that's the difference between rich and poor. And rich and poor is not money. Right? Rich and poor is feeling fully alive. That's rich, right? Poor is you work your ass off and you have plenty of money and you help all kinds of people, but you don't connect to. And again, I'm not making a judgment. I hope you can feel my heart. It's just, I want more for you. And I knew you wouldn't ask the damn question. That's true. So it's like, but you need, like, your energy has got to be shifting. You need a kick in the ass. You need to get an environment where you're on fucking fire.
Yeah.
And then at that state, you've had that state before, I guarantee you would have got here. But then you got so caught up in the push, I think you've missed some of the pull for your life. And I think this is not just true of you, it's true of most of us. Why are most people stressed? Like, if you talk to people, it's so stressful people, they're always talking, I'm so stressed, I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why you're stressed, because you're managing shit.
Yeah.
You're managing all these great businesses, you're managing all this great money, but you know what, when you manage it, it puts you back in survival. Are you gonna tell me it's more stressful today than the dark ages?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. But what's happened is we have all this we're trying to manage. We're not made to manage. You've been so successful that now you've hit a set point. And now the only way that set point is people get to a point where they question and they start going, is it worth it or not? But I have to keep doing it.
Yeah.
No, sometimes you make a point, you say, no, I'm going to keep what I'm doing, but I'm going to be connected to it at a different level, or I'm going to change paths altogether. I'm going to add a path that brings me to the dimension to me. Those are the places that go. So I'm pretty passionate about this answer, because, primarily because you're asking me. Because you're asking a question, it's a very sophisticated question. Most people never ask because they never get to where you are. Right? So you've gotten to a place where you've hit a walk, but you're only 37.
Yeah.
You're, God willing, going to have 50 or 60 more years of your life. I don't want you going around doing it out of duty.
Yeah.
I want you going around doing it because I have to get up and work.
Yeah.
I want you to do it for something else. So I can't do it for you,
Yeah.
but it'd be very useful for you to get an environment. I'm not telling you that, like, there's nothing like being in an environment. I know when Pat Roddick came to one of our events and, got 15,000, 20,000 people, and he's like, I don't need this stuff. And, but after an hour, he's like, this is insane. At the end of the night, he said to me, he goes, this is like the 7th game of the NBA championship, only lasts 12 hours and it goes for 4 days, right? But without energy enhancement, the brain takes over. All of a sudden, now it's your mind doing it. The reason you're not happy is the mind is leading you. Get in your head, you're dead.
Yeah.
Your heart is so big. And I'm not saying that to placate you, because I know we have mutual friends and they all rave about what a generous, incredible guy you are. But I don't see you feeling the level that you have.
Yeah.
And I can see part of it is energy. You can execute with your mind so well. You recognize, I'm sure, like new pattern systems. You know how to put them in place, get it done. But then there's not the emotional connection. You need a moonshot or two,
Yeah.
and you need to get connected to the people and see and feel the impact in a new variety, because otherwise it's a law of familiarity.
Yeah.
You get around anything enough, no matter how good it is, you start taking a little bit for granted. And that's just human nature. That's not you. So you have to wake it up, and you got to get associated. The other thing is, you don't have a kid, do you?
No.
I'm not trying to give you advice, but look, I have 5 kids and 9 grandkids. I adopted 3 kids. I was 24. I married a woman who was 12 years my senior. She married twice before me, kids from each person. I didn't recognize the pattern, But it was one of the best things that happened in my life, even though she wasn't right for me, and I don't think I was right for her, but I made that choice. I ended up with these kids. So I was 24 and had a 17-year-old son instantly, an 11-year-old, a 5-year-old, and the one on the way. I've been doing my thing, like you're doing, very successful. I want to change the world. Now I got to figure out all these kids in different stages of life. And so I tell you that because that marriage wasn't the right marriage, but those kids now, my youngest kid is like 42, right? I have a 52-year-old daughter, and thanks to COVID, I have a 4.5-year-old daughter. So it's good to me. I never thought at 65 years old I'd have a 4.5-year-old daughter, right? Are you kidding me? I've already done all that. But it is the greatest joy of my life because she makes me see the adventure in a smile. I want to do more for her than I want to do for everything else. Every day is new. Everything is new for her. You just need some new elements.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a child,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't mind recommending a possibility for you and your lady. I don't know how she feels about it. At some point in your life, there has to be something more than you that calls you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to give you a sermon. I'm just so passionate. I have a love for you because you've delivered so much value, and I hate when I see so much value. And to me, I see this as a little bit of suffering. You wouldn't call it that.
Yeah.
There's a conflict inside. I don't see you suffer. You're too big one thing. I don't see anybody suffering. That's what you.
I appreciate that.
Does any of that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
What part makes sense to you? I'm curious.
So there's three things. So one was the emotional connection part. The second was the framing of the opportunity. And then the third was around suffering. And so I want to touch on each of those.
Okay, right.
So from a suffering perspective, I find it really interesting because passion comes from the Latin passio, right?
Yes.
Which means suffering or to endure.
Yeah. I know.
And so that made actually a tremendous amount of sense from it. And so I actually reframed that whole concept as like find a goal worth suffering for. And so I've been very accepting of my suffering. And to your point, I actually don't have a lot of anxiety. That's actually not the issue that I do. The other opposite, the opposite extreme of not giving, is it worth it? Who cares? Why bother? You know, whatever. So that was on the suffering piece.
Before
Please, yeah.
if I may, again, I'm not pretending to have the answer for you, but I'm just giving my 2 cents.
Yeah,
I don't want to see more of that smile I see in you right now. This is the real you right here, by the way. But what happened is you're so in your head.
Yeah.
So even think what you did, like a goal worth suffering for. I mean, I don't have goals that I'm worth suffering for. No, don't get me wrong. Every day is not like pure bliss.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things that I don't love to do that I need to do to succeed or I got to deal with. That's part of life. But pain is part of life. Suffering's an option. You've heard that phrase, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
It's not just a phrase. It's why you've heard that shit some more. But when you make it your goal to find a goal we're suffering for, you're going to suffer,
Yeah.
right? So it's in your
I got my
language.
wish.
And you got your wish. And what's happened is this part of you is so strong, brother. This part of you is too, but this is the lead right now. If you change the lead to here by that sense of connection and everything else, you get the hell out of your head, because your brain is always going to reduce things. It's like your brain will never make you happy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It won't even allow you to enjoy an apple. You go, is it organic? It's like your brain is analyzing so much. You got so stuck up here that you're missing this magnificent human being that I see in front of me here. You're missing to have the joy of him. So stop this getting what we're suffering for.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
So with the like get out of your head, get into your heart.
Yes.
I love the language. I don't understand what it means.
I know, because right now you're in your head stuff.
Sure.
But when you laugh like this, can you feel the difference? Like this guy right here who's smiling at me right now.
Yeah.
Is that a different guy?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this. I have multiple parts of me.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us in life try to pretend we're one thing. Society makes you try to pretend you're one thing. I'm sure your wife has multiple personalities. My wife sure does. When I first met her, I'd have a conversation, and she'd be talking about, I'd be like, who is this person over here, right? I had to come up with different names. I'm like, look at the smile, but I started naming the parts of my wife, so I know who's talking about. So there's Bonnie Pearl, there's Sage, and there's some names I can't tell you.
Yeah. It's just Friday night, or is this Tuesday morning?
But the point of it is, we as humans try to reduce ourselves for simplicity's sake, and society does to one thing. It's easier to manage, right? There are many parts of you.
Yeah.
So what's the part of this guy that's so intellectual that, he's going to suffer and he's going to, going to get it done anyway? It's not this guy right here. This guy like this guy here. This guy's very good. Is this guy different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just shift it just like that, right? So who's the guy who's in his head all the time? Who's analyzing? Oh, he's brilliant, by the way. He's absolutely effing brilliant. And he can succeed in anything he gets at. What's that guy's name? Give me a nickname for that guy. One that maybe
Analytical Alex. There. Analytical Alex.
Analytical what?
Analytical Alex.
Okay, analytical Alex. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's this guy who's laughing with me, looked over his wife, big smile on his face. Your smile is infectious, right? And this is you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is this guy?
Anabolic.
Anabolic. So anabolic Alex has so much life in him. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay. So you what happens is, think about a relationship. Try that way. Most people get in a relationship and I always tell people the secret to relationship, 80% of having a great lasting relationship or intimate relationship is selection. And people will say to me, shit, why didn't you tell me that before I was married for 10 years or so? I said, no. I don't mean who you select. Who you select to be in this relationship.
Mm.
So when you're in the beginning of a relationship, what do most people do in the very beginning of a relationship? What will they do for the other person?
The best behavior.
They're lighting them up, light you up. There's no transaction value. You're not trying to see what you can get. Like your joy is making joy for them, right?
Yeah.
And you give your all. You dress properly, or whatever properly.
Yeah.
But you get the idea. You give your best foot forward. Then people get married sometimes, and after a certain number of years, they forget and they bring a different person to the table who's always analyzing. Like, what did you do versus what I do? They're measuring. That's a transaction. No one wants to be part of a transaction in an intimate relationship. And when you ever do a transaction, it's not fair anyway, because in a relationship, it's like a team sport. You're climbing a mountain. Who's leading and who's following changes as you're climbing. If you're climbing a big mountain, right? And you can't lead the whole damn time. Like, you'd love to, but you can't. You got to switch off, right, to make things work. So it's like, which part of you select to do business with? which part of you is going to run your business? And so many of your viewers, I see people different than you. They'll be like, oh, I know I need to fire this person. I need to let go of this, or I got to do this, but I just can't hurt them. I was in that stage at one stage of my own life. If you put that person in charge of your business, you're going to fail, right? Because you're going to be taking care of this person and hurting your platinum players, right? You're going to hurt your clients, right? So it's like, we all have to pick the person we're going to be and be conscious of that. And in your case, my friend, it's not so you can succeed, because this will make you succeed. I have a strong one here too. But if I let this thing take over, I would be bored shitless. I would be like, okay, I got 5 sports teams, and I got $1 billion, and I got this business, that business. Everyone tells me every day I'm the greatest thing in their life, and I'm changing their life, and I got 5 kids, and like, where's the meaning of my life?
Yeah.
That's what the brain does. The brain reduces everything and compares it, whereas the heart magnifies everything. It takes the little things that makes it bigger. What made you attracted to your wife when you first met her? By the way, who's this guy right here? Anabolic Alex. Right?
The honest truth was that I once I met her, I didn't want to not be with her.
Yes, why? What qualities about her did you not want to be without?
I think she let me be me.
Yeah, she loved you for being you.
Yeah, she just never tried to change me, and I think that was what was so unique.
That's quite miraculous. I'm fortunate to have the same thing. I found that Sage loved me not because I was Tony Robbins, she just loved me. I never experienced that before, right? So, and what else about her besides the fact that she loved you unconditionally?
She also loved the same stuff that I love.
Yes.
So when we talked, we just wouldn't stop. And I feel like it has been one very long conversation. We spent two weekends apart since the day.
That's beautiful.
Like not in the same, literally in the same place.
Does she bring out analytical Alex or anabolic Alex?
We work together, so she sees both sides.
No, I'm not asking that. I'm saying, which one can she bring out?
She can bring out whoever she wants.
That's right. That's her power, right?
Yeah.
But who does she want more?
Oh, she for sure wants him.
Of course. Because look at this man before me.
Yeah.
Like, you're a different man right now when we started here, right? Can you feel that?
Yeah.
I can do shit. This is you. But if you don't identify, like, think about it. The strongest force in the human personality for any human being, you, me, doesn't matter. The strongest force is that we need to stay consistent with the way we identify ourselves. Right? Identity is the controlling force of human being. If you are of identity that says, I always find the way to victory, you will find the victory. If you're Lance Armstrong, and they say, oh, by the way, you have cancer in your brain, in your lungs, and in your testicles, which is inconvenience that you ride a bike, right? What does he say? He says, I will find a way. What do some people say? Their belief is, like, I'm at the effect of things. Life controls me. What makes people, by the way, miserable is when they feel events control them versus they control events. And all it is a shift in here and here, right? So Lance had that belief system, and he found a way to live strong.
Yeah.
But he also said, I'm going to find a way to win using drugs that were illegal, right? And so it cost him his reputation, but he won all these things, right? So your identity is everything. And so you have to be careful, because very often in life, we identify to who we were a while ago. Like last time we didn't do something, well, I'm not that kind of person. Well, when did you decide what kind of person you were? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago? Would you use a phone from 10 years ago? You'd be an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you use the same old identity? I'm not saying get rid of it, I'm saying let's expand it. And in you, I don't have to teach you shit. You've done everything you do. But what I can offer you is a conscious choice to find anabolic Alex. Like, you know, I mentioned you there, and put him in charge. Your level of happiness, and then stop your hypnosis. You hypnotize yourself a long time. It's time to transcend. Transcend means end the trance.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you say to yourself over and over again, people, you tell a lie big enough, loud enough, long enough, sooner or later people believe you. You told yourself a lie, fuck happiness.
Mm-hmm.
No, fuck suffering.
Mm-hmm.
That's you gotta be in with fuck suffering. Like, I'm gonna engage enjoyment. It's not my duty, it's my gift. It's my honor, it's my opportunity. It's grace that has put me in this point of my life. Think of all the people you met. You and I both have busted our ass. We wouldn't be here with that. But we've also had grace in our life. Your woman is grace in your life. My woman is grace in my life. I would say, listen, I got my wife because of karma. I helped tens of millions of people worldwide, and that was my reward right there, you know? And that makes me smile like you're smiling right now, because I really believe it's true. So it's like those little shifts. I teach something called transformational vocabulary. It's one of the simplest things in the world. I was in a meeting, when I was probably younger than you. I was probably 32. And I was two other partners who were very wealthy, super successful, one worth $1 billion, another very, very close to it, but very different personalities. And we're three of us were partners in a certain deal. I won't bore you the details, but I'll give you the core. The core was we went in negotiation, and you can probably tell. I don't claim to be right about everything, but I want to share what I believe, right? Certain areas I know, just like you know, right? Because of my life experience. But the negotiation for me, I was like, negotiation. Let's just put our cards on the table. I want to be able to do business with somebody who's honest. I want to tell you the whole thing. Let's do something fair, right? But you know, if you go to certain people, if they don't fight for it, they feel like they don't want to do business, right? They want to feel like they beat you, right? So I go on this negotiation, and without telling my partners, I opened the door and I told them the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I said, I think this is a deal that would work. I want a deal that's more than happy for you, because I'm the kind of guy that'll do a deal, and then afterwards, I give the person a little bit back, even if they agreed to it. Just that's I got totally for 20 or 30 years, because I'm generous, right? So I'm trying to be generous. But I'm trying to be generous with a shark. You'll take your odds. So I'm this 32-year-old kid. I'm not realizing you're much more sophisticated at your age than I was at mine. So I tell the guys all this stuff, thinking, okay, let's come together. One perfect, well, let's pull together. Get one turn, who cares? As long as we respect each other, love each other, we're going to crush this out. Yeah. And the other side, when I give you all the gory details, takes it, uses it, and tries to manipulate us with leverage to make a deal that was far worse than we should be at. Yeah. So I'm effing pissed. Yeah. I am angry as hell. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. One of my partners goes apeshit. He's like, I'm furious. He said, I'm enraged. I'm killing this first. Yeah. And he was so intense that even though I was pissed off, I was like, hey, it's not that bad, right? You know, I'm trying to calm him down. While I'm trying to calm him down, and notice my other partner, he's not even moved by this thing. Like, he doesn't seem slightly upset, which almost upset me. You know, like, don't you get it? Yeah. He's too crazy in my mind. He's not feeling it out. So I said to him, like, aren't you upset? Because aren't you furious? He goes, yeah, I'm a little annoyed. The first place, I'm a little annoyed. I said, annoyed? Like, the word annoyed me. Right? Don't you understand? That's what they did. He's like, I don't understand. Calming him down. In the middle of it all, I couldn't help. I'm a student of behavior, right? So I couldn't help but notice all three of us have had the same problem delivered to us. And all three of us have radically different emotional responses. Okay? Why? And I'm listening. He's going, I'm enraged, I'm furious, kill me in the first. And I'm thinking, I'm so pissed off, I'm pissed as hell, I'm angry. And then I'm hearing him say, I'm annoyed. I said, annoyed? I mean, that's it as well. And he said, I'm a little tinkled. I said, tinkled? What are you talking about? Right? And he's going, so in the middle of all this, I thought for a moment, I couldn't help it. I said, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen you really angry. He said, I don't really get that angry. It's very rare. I said, what about, he had this deal with this IRS agent came to his house. He's a very wealthy guy, right? And the guy was, the IRS agent, my guess is, was, you know, threatened by or upset by the level of wealth he had. And so he did some things that he eventually won. It took him 5 years to get his money back. I thought the IRS had won, which is pretty rare. During those 5 years, it was brutal. You know, anybody from the outside. I said, you're going to tell me you were annoyed with that? He goes, no. And then I asked him, it's really interesting. I said, what do you believe about getting angry? And he goes, I believe if you get angry, the other guy wins. No, I never thought of that. And this other guy believes if you don't get angry, when I get angry, I get powerful. Mm-hmm. When I get angry, I get sharp. Mm-hmm. Right? But I also thought when I'm really happy, I get sharp. Yeah. And it changed me. I started saying, okay, I call it transformational vocabulary because the words you attach to your experience, as I said, become your experience. My mother told me one time, I don't know if before we had cell phones, you know, we had these little recorder calls. You know, it was like on a reel to reel. And you called in and got your calls. Well, I went to England and Europe for about 2 weeks. And I gave my staff time off. They didn't work their tail off. So my mom calls every day and leaves a message. So I was going to call back. And when I called to England, a little beat thing to translate. So I don't know what's on that. I come home. 10 days for the messages. And every single message she says, I am humiliated. This is humiliating. My son is not the president. She was humiliated for his life. And at the end of this one, my mom is always humiliated. Yeah. You know what? If there's a funnel of experience and it's painful, yeah, He's going annoyed Pete. I'm going pissed off. He's going, "Oh, my mom always uses the word for anything uncomfortable for humiliated, so she's always humiliated. So like, I'm never depressed. I was so depressed when I got chased out of my house and I had no money in the background. I lived in this place of depression. And I remember reading this book by Claudia Bristol. It's called The Magic of Leaving. And I read the book and it talked about how to condition your mind. And one of the things I did, I wrote on soap on the mirror, I wrote, only a loser is depressed, which isn't true. You can be a winner and be depressed and feel that way. But I knew I wasn't a loser. That was my leverage. Yeah. And I literally took the word depression out of my vocabulary. I've never used it again. I felt down. I felt pissed off. I felt frustrated. I felt sad. I felt overwhelmed in moments. I've never felt depressed because when I was depressed, I got to the point where I was questioning whether it's worth it all. Right? And so your words shape your psychology. And so a few word changes, as stupid as that sounds, as overly simplistic as that sounds, or people give metaphors. They'll say, "Oh man, I'm like, sit it down and come over here." What are you talking about? We hypnotize ourselves. Or someone will say, "Well, that person stabbed me in the back." And I'll walk up to him and I'll behind the back. I said, "I don't see anything." And you know what I mean? No, I don't. Well, they betrayed me. What did they do? And you dig and they go, they told someone else something they said they wouldn't tell them. But the words escalated the emotion. And once they're there as a metaphor or as words, they control us. I invite every business person to notice this. I remember, I decided to get divorced when I was 39 years old. And I didn't want to divorce. I had 4 or 5 years. I was staying no matter what, duty, all those things that was thinking about me, right? And then I remember my friend Peter Greenberg, I was like, I can't imagine doing this. And then I said, I'm going to give her more than half and I want to take care of her. But just the whole part of starting over again, starting over. He grabbed me by the arm and he goes, "I'm going to teach you what you taught me for the last 10 years. He goes, "You're not starting over. That language is putting you in this place." He said, "You couldn't possibly start over." He said, "You can take everything from you. No one can take the man you become, the knowledge you have, the skill you have, the relationships you have, all those things. But starting over was my trance for being in pain. When I stopped doing that, it's like, no, starting fresh." I know that sounds simplistic, but linguistics change how the brain functions. And so part of yours is some simple linguistics, but the other part is state. Because anabolic, Alex, I'm not going to understand. Look, he shows up. All I got to do. So all you got to do is say, "It's time for anabolic, Alex, here." And then a moonshot that's going to wake you up and then get emotionally associated. Like if I just provided all this, when I first met people, I would go there in a t-shirt and jeans, not so they acknowledged me, but so I could see and feel the impact as opposed to I wrote a check or I did some good work or they did it. The more connected you are. And that once you get in the habit of that, like people say all the time, doesn't it get old? People come to you 10, 15 times a day and tell you, "Changed my life." No, it's one of the things I enjoy most besides my family. But it's because I've trained myself never to take it for granted. Right? Is that helpful at all?
Yes.
Okay.
From the
Hey, anabolic Alex. You do your best to get anabolic because you go back to your brain. You've got a very smart brain. We can use him too. But let's start with anabolic Alex as you asked.
So in order to create the emotional connection, because that is like the thing that I probably have trouble the most from, but I think it's made me disproportionately successful from a business perspective to make good calls, right? But I remember the first time I wrote $1 million check and then multiple $1 million checks to charities, and I was just like, okay, I feel a couple $1 more. That's about it,
Because you're not emotionally associated anyway.
Zero. But I did the tours at school, and I was like, I'm glad that this all,
contribution for contribution is not what I'm talking about.
And this is where I wanted to get. So my last little word of the ones we've heard most of them was opportunity.
Yes.
And so I think the question that I have is, you have unlimited opportunities.
Yeah.
More opportunities than you can sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
How do you go through opportunity selection and balancing your kind of achievement brain outcomes and your philanthropic impact feeding families outcomes?
I look at opportunities first from a business perspective.
Yeah.
I look at opportunities first to see, do I have passion for what it's about? Is it something that I would do for free if I felt it was really successful? And it felt fulfilling, felt alive, it felt it was worth doing. Mm-hmm. Like, is there a mission behind it? Is it selling widgets? I have no interest, right? Mm-hmm. Second thing I look for is, who are the people? I want people I'm going to enjoy being with. I would enjoy being with you in spite of this conversation sounding like I wouldn't, because I'd bring out more anabolic accounts. I know your wife brings out more anabolic accounts, right? So I'm trying to make sure if I was doing business with you, I'd make sure this guy was present, right? But I look at the people and I look at their heart and soul, what's driving them, and I also look at their skill, because you need both, right? So if someone's got a track record, and it's negotiating with me right now on a really large project, and if the project made no money, I would probably do the project as long as I organize it so I can have the kind of reward for my time and my energy, because the project has such reach, global reach, on a very deep level. I'm very connected to it, and this person's built a business that went to $2 billion, so they got a great track record. It's not me carrying it all, but together 1 + 1 could equal 5, not 2. So a deal like that gets my attention, because most of the money I make, I give away, at the stage of my life anyway, right? It's like there's, I'm not hurt for any capital.
Yeah.
And there's no toy that I'm looking for, and it never drove me anyway. So for me, it's like, if it's got enough juice in it here, the people I'm going to enjoy being with, and it's got enough juice in terms of the impact, and then it has track record of the person likely to help get there, so it isn't all my back. The two of us are adding some value together, it's adding value, then I'm in. And it's like, let's rock this thing, let's make it happen, let's have some fun. See, mine is let's have some fun, not let's do the duty, right? That's like, I'm going to learn, we're going to grow, we're going to expand different things, we're going to touch lives, these things. So those are my core criteria. And I'm not always right. But one thing I will tell you that I've done in business is I've made some poor choices in the early days of business partners. Everybody's selling when you run a business partnership, right? And it's like going on a date, so it's like you get sold. And the question is not going to do the job, will they do the job well long term? Is the right team fit? Like, they're deeper questions. But I now, when I have so many business deals, the first thing I do early on, just had this happen recently, somebody's on a large power plant, 3 gigawatt power plant, converting into hydrogen. It's in West
You
Virginia.
told me about this, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great project. But I have some people involved that shouldn't have been involved, and so I had some new people come on board. And what I do now is I go, they sold me, I was actually liking them, I felt the vision was great, they seemed to have the track record, everything seemed lined up. And I said, look, what I always do in any new partnership is I have everybody check me out legally. I want you to check out everything online, hire a private detective if you want, know everything about me. And you can ask me any question you want, but I want to do the same with you, because that's how I know when I'm starting. Now, by the way, though, nothing I hear will I take as true, because it's not true, but I'll bring it to you and we can discuss it. And then you and I can tell, most people have you and I have large bullshit meters, right? We can tell when something's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example. And this guy, he had a deal worth, 10 figures plus, looked really good. Ghosted us. Ghosted us. Because and then I uncovered 3 or 4 things he'd done that were not great. I was like, I just saved myself 3 to 5 years of pain. So I do believe in the practical side. But I'm not even interested in going there unless I can first find these pieces, and unless I believe already there. But I can get fooled, right? I'm not perfect.
So I have one last question for you, which is the most selfish of all my questions. So you were 36 years old. You have built businesses, and the skill set that you are most proud of is that you're good at helping business owners.
Yeah.
The only thing I feel emotional connection to is teaching young men how to provide for themselves and their families. That's the only thing that actually, because I know that pain.
Yes. So you're connected to it.
That's the only thing.
Makes sense.
And to me, I've built a lot of the business and all that stuff basically around that. But I still don't feel like that massive emotional drive. That being said, what would you have played differently from your 36-year-old self to current that you could kind of pass on to me? Basically, what can I change about my behavior to maximize my enjoyment and size of it?
You have to make your enjoyment a priority, which is not.
Mm-hmm.
You've always been the priority. You're good. You're an overachiever.
Yeah.
But there's 2 skills in life. There's the science of achievement, which you're unbelievably great at, and there's the art of fulfillment, which you're not so great at,
Right.
by your description.
Yeah.
And by the way, notice the language difference. The science of achievement, it's a science. Like you and I both know, if you want to make money, there's a science to it, right? If you want to be fulfilled, though, that's as unique as every human being you're going to meet. And so you haven't found that piece. Now, you gave some clues along the way. Like, why am I so interested in feeding people? Because I'm such a good person? No, because I suffered. Okay? So I don't want other people to suffer. So I started out of that, but now it's not out of suffering, it's out of joy. You can get started out of the pain, passion does.
Yeah.
But you don't have to stay in the pain. You could have stayed in the pain,
Yeah.
even though you've gone past it.
Yeah.
But what you just said is, well, a clue for me is that's the one place I can start to get folks associated to, because I know what it takes to do that, and I know what it feels like to be able to take care of my family. I know the contrast, right? So I'll take a look at that and expanding it, but I try to find a way to do it where I had a moonshot. Something that's that like
Yeah.
right
Shot of that.
What's that?
A moonshot of
Exactly. That's what I was saying to you earlier. I'm not saying you should go feed people
Yeah.
or writing those checks. The problem with those checks is you give shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's
So you
true.
feel false, you feel poor, and you might feel bad about yourself for doing it.
I did.
I'm supposed to do good stuff. Why don't I feel good by doing good stuff? Because it's not your passion.
I was like, I selfishly wrote these checks so that I would feel good, and now I don't even feel good, and I'm $2 million poorer. But I shouldn't feel bad about doing good, and then it was just the whole thing.
By the way, so question.
Yeah.
Your heart was having that session.
Yeah.
So analytical. By the way, as you're laughing about it now, who's in charge right now?
Animal. Yeah.
Right. That little shit that sounds like nothing else, if nothing else you heard me say, you play with that just a little bit in your life and bring him to the table. But if you come up with a moonshot connected to that, like I'm gonna this is completely wrong. I'm gonna help 10 million young men who right now think they can't buy a home, they can't do it. Most young people here have been sold this bullshit bill of goods. Inflation's 3%, and I got 24 million to 4 million, and it's like that's the catastrophizing analytical stuff. That's assuming that you're not going to have any growth in your assets.
Yeah.
And also, when you're 86, which is when that would be 50 years from now, do you really think you're just spending the same money? What the hell are you going to be buying? You already own multiple homes. You already have those. They've all grown in value. So most young people, they are not involved with free enterprise, as you know, and so that's why they want communism because they've never been there. I was in the USSR when I was 23 years old. I took a train from Moscow to Siberia with a group of scientists. I was brought things like firewalking and things like that by their government. And back. I spent 2 weeks there. Made me a capitalist. Because every stop we did, there's the same thing in every city. There's a central place where the train stops. And we're going to have a caviar. And all these Russians are like wealthy on this planet.
crooked or anything. Jesus Christ. Whoa. Where the fuck is that feedback coming from? A little bit better. What do you think, big boy? Check. Check. Great. Where's that coming from? Check. Check. 1, 2. 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 Check. Check. Friday. Got Echo. I got 10 people out in my yard right now turning my shit up. It's about to look dope, y'all. I gotta jump off here, but we're going to. What is beautiful machine. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that beast. Look at that. Got the G Master, baby. A1. Nasty as fuck. All right. I'm gonna go document these guys transforming my yard into heaven. Thank you. Peace. And keep it